just about every social media, Instagram, to basically share a little bit about the campaign, what's going on. If you remember, I am Denise Martinez-Scanziani, and I'm running for Circuit Court Judge in Miami-Dade County. The elections are August 18th. We are now 31 days away from Election Day. And it's pretty exciting just to, get the energy and the feeling of my supporters and those who are coming out very strongly for my candidacy. So I'm very, very grateful. So first and foremost, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who has been helping me. Just a lot of support and energy and time and resources and making phone calls and putting up signs and all sorts of things. So I wanted to say thank you so very much to everyone who's been very supportive of me. And it is coming down to the wire, 31 days. Denise Martinez-Scanziani. I am running for Circuit Court Judge, and that is just around the corner. So I am number 314 on the ballot. I wanted to take an opportunity as I get questions. I want to answer them because I want to make sure that your questions are answered. This is why I'm here, and I come on live because we are quarantined and we are trying to stay socially distant and safe. So if you have questions for me, I want to be as transparent as I possibly can and share with you a little bit about what I'm doing and why I'm doing this. And I already have a question here from someone, Democrat or Republican. So I get that question a lot, and the reason I'm going to explain it. So I want to make sure, and I'll repeat this every time I come on, but I wanted to make sure that everybody understands. I'm not trying to be sneaky or difficult, but judges run on a nonpartisan ticket. That means that judges, the rules of ethics that govern judicial candidates and judges prohibit us from identifying with any type of partisan politics or any type of political party. The reason for that is because judges are required to be impartial. Judges are required to follow the rule of law, and judges are required to do that without taking into account his or her personal interests. So I think that was Beaky Buck Buck on Twitter asked me that question. So I wanted to make sure I answered that for you. It's a matter of seeking to elect judges who are qualified, judges who have experience, and more importantly, I think judges who have a heart to serve their community and do right by our entire community. So I just wanted to make sure I addressed that question. So what's going on right now? Well, voters are actually voting as we speak. So as you're watching me live, as you're reading posts and as you're going about your day, the mail-in ballots already went out in the mail to Miami-Dade County voters. Many folks have already received them. Many folks have already voted. I've gotten quite a bit of text messages and calls from folks who have already cast their vote on my behalf. And so I thank you first and foremost for voting, and particularly thank you for voting for me. As you continue to receive your mail-in ballots, a lot of voters received them yesterday. Many will receive them today, and even probably on Monday they'll continue to come in. If you wanted to vote by mail-in ballot, you can still do so. You can still request, if you go to miamidade.gov/elections, you can definitely still request your mail-in ballot. I believe the last day to do so is August 8th. So you have 10 days prior to the election to request your mail-in ballot. Now, I have some voters who said, well, I requested my mail-in ballot, but I don't really trust the mail or something like that. They have those kinds of questions. And you can actually take your ballot, you can fill it out, and you can actually take it with you and turn it in once early voting starts. You can take it in. Early voting starts August 3rd, and it runs all the way until the Sunday prior to the election, which would be until August 16th. But as we speak right now, voters are voting, and it's a really, really exciting time. I remind you that the judges are not the only elections. We have local elections. We have primary elections for different offices. The judges run on a nonpartisan race. So the judges are again, we're usually at the bottom of the ballot. This time we're right before the county mayor races. So hopefully that'll get everyone to kind of follow the ballot and not skip the judges. And I tell you, don't skip the judges, because the judges are, the way I say it when I get asked this question, why should I vote for a judge? And I repeat it, and I've said it over and over again, but it bears repeating again and again because it's so important. You're much more likely to come face to face with the judge than any other elected official. That's just the bottom line. That doesn't take away from the jobs that other elected officials do. But the reality is, if you are in a court of law, you can walk into court, and that judge who has been elected or appointed by the governor will make a decision in your case, and that can change your life. As a family law attorney, I've had that happen where I walk into court and one parent has custody of the children in 1 minute, and then when they walk out, they no longer have that custody or time with their children. So it's really, really important. Thank you, Janie. Thank you so much for your support and for your vote. I appreciate it. I will also tell you that please tell your friends. Right now, it's really important. As I look out at the day, it's been pretty much raining nonstop where I live, and probably where most of you live, since I think all of Miami-Dade County is right now under pretty severe rain. It just let up a little bit ago, but we've had a lot of thunder and lightning and all that. So voting is important, obviously, and I've seen where if it rains on election day, a lot of voters don't come out to vote. That's why you have so many different opportunities to vote. You can vote by mail-in ballot. You can actually vote during early voting from August 3rd until August 16th for this election. It's 2 whole weeks where you have the opportunity to go in and vote at about 20 different locations throughout the county and cast your ballot because it's really important. Unfortunately, most people will not turn out to vote for these elections in August because it's just either lack of interest or lack of knowledge about what's going on. And so what happens is a very small amount of the population of registered voters make the decisions for the entirety of us. And that means, the county mayor, it means the judges, it just means all these different offices that are important. So I invite you to get informed. I invite you to look up qualifications. Right now, there are 7 different races, judicial races. I'm only in one of them. So you should definitely get informed, get educated as much as possible about all the different candidates that are running for office and that are running for judge, because it is a very important I guess, election. But for me in particular, I am very much desiring to serve the community. This is a calling that I believe I have, and I believe that I've worked to get to this point in my career where I want to give back of what I've gained and what I've learned and my experience, and I want to give it back to help the entire community and serve the community this way. Just a little bit of a reminder about myself. Again, my name is Denise Martinez-Scanziani, and I'm number 314 on the ballot. And I have been an attorney for over 20 years. I practice at the trial and the appellate level. I am the oldest of 5 children and the first in my family to go to college. When I went to the University of Florida for my undergraduate degree, I went there on scholarship and pretty much I've worked every single day since I was 14. I even remember as a teenager working at Santa's Enchanted Forest. I've had all kinds of jobs because it's been, it was a sacrifice for my family to be able to go away to college. So I went to the University of Florida, where I graduated with a degree in criminology, and I graduated there summa cum laude. Then I went ahead and I continued at University of Florida, where I got my law degree at the University of Florida College of Law, and I graduated there cum laude. When I finished law school, I chose a path of service. I chose to become a staff attorney at Legal Aid, and I was a staff attorney for the Senior Citizen Law Project. And that job, that work really, truly impacted me. It really marked me. And it really set me on this path of service that I have followed in my career. All of my clients at that time were 65 and older and had no ability to hire their own attorneys. So I really represented this very vulnerable population that our senior citizens are, helping them in any way that I could. And sometimes it wasn't even about they didn't really actually need representation, like legal work in the traditional sense. But because of their age and their vulnerabilities, maybe it was filling out an application or helping them in some way that was maybe very easy for me to handle and didn't require a lawyer. But for them, it was huge. It was huge, and it helped them in their life and what they were struggling through. So when I experienced that, and I decided to open my own firm, which I have been running for the past, let's say about 17, 18 years, I decided to do that. And I decided to focus on families and children, what I believe are the most vulnerable populations and where I can make the biggest impact. So I am a board certified marital and family lawyer. That means that not only did I take the Florida bar exam and pass that, but after I applied for certification, which means that the application was given to, the Florida bar sought references from other judges and other colleagues of mine to get information about me. And after I was approved, I was able to sit for an additional exam where then I passed and I became a board certified attorney in marital and family law. And that board certification is something that I'm very proud of because the Florida bar has designated me as an expert in the area of marital and family law. That means that I can say I'm an expert, and I'm actually one of only 33 board certified specialists in marital and family law in the entire county. Now, I am actually the only board certified specialist running for judge, and I've done that because I wanted to make sure I was as prepared as possible when pursuing what I believe to be my calling to be a judge. So that's part of my legal and work, my legal and academic qualifications. I'm also, as I said earlier, I'm a trial and an appellate attorney. So that gives me a pretty good view of both sides of the coin, so to speak. So I'm very passionate about justice. I hate injustice. When the law is the law and we must follow the law. And so when judges don't follow the law, I have a problem with that. And so I've often taken them up on appeal successfully where, to make sure that, because that's what brings, stability to our judicial system. And we want to make sure that everybody has a fair and impartial judge and a fair and impartial hearing whenever they appear in a court of law. In fact, one of the things that I stress is that everyone has the right to be seen and to be heard in a court of law. That is what we call due process. And doing that is you may not be happy with the judge's decision when that happens, but at the end of the day, you'll know that you've had your day in court. And so that's something that I so strongly believe in. I can't say that enough. And that's one of the reasons why I believe that I will be an asset to the bench, and I will be able to serve my community, my entire community, fairly and justly. So what else? What else can I share with you? Well, it has been an amazing journey, this campaign. As promised, I will continue to be here every Saturday at 2:00 on the Candidates Corner, even that Saturday before the election, which would make it Saturday the 15th, I believe. August 15th is the last Saturday before Election Day. And I will be here sharing with you. I might be at a voting place. I might be at early voting, streaming live from there, encouraging you to come out and say hi. But definitely it has been very, very exciting. I am very grateful for so much support that I have received from all areas of the community. And I just wanted to remind you that if you are in Dade County, no matter where you live in Dade County, you can vote for me. You can vote for 314 Denise Martinez-Scanziani for Circuit Court Judge. This is a county-wide race, which is a big chunk of the county, of the state, I should say, everywhere from Miami Lakes and Hialeah, Key Biscayne and the beach, down south to Florida City and Homestead, and everywhere in between. If you are a registered voter in any of those areas, you are going to find my name on the ballot, Denise Martinez-Scanziani. Probably one of the longest names on the ballot, I must say, but definitely there, and I am there, number 314. I welcome you. Let me just say hi to some folks here. Let's see. Okay, another question. Will I still be able to practice law while I am a judge? So no. So once I am elected, then I cannot practice law. So my firm will actually transition over to my husband, who's also an attorney, and that will operate on its own. And I will be serving on the bench, and I will not be able to practice law. So that's the answer to that question. Let me say hi to some folks who are joining us here today. Hey, Eileen, thank you so much for checking in. Candy, wow, it's been a long time. That's a former high school classmate. Let's see who else is on here. Mariano, Maria, thank you. Thank you, Deanna, for chiming in on Twitter. And for those of you that I can't see, because I can really only see, actually, no, Deanna, you're on Instagram. Sorry. I can't see everybody. But I am happy to see that you all are still interested, still coming back to get information. I touched on it a little bit earlier, again, and I just want to say the whole question of, are you liberal? Are you conservative? Are you Republican? Or are you a Democrat? And I have to tell you, it's not that I'm being difficult and I'm not trying to be sneaky. It's just the reality of the rules that govern this particular type of position as a judicial candidate. I cannot identify with a political party, and I cannot side with partisan politics. But what I can tell you is that I am committed to serving my community. I am passionate about justice. I respect the law, and I am passionate about everyone being seen and being heard in a court of law. That is what I can tell you. I believe that I'm qualified. There's tons of information about me and my service in the community. This is not my first attempt to serve the community. I've been in service since I got out of law school, when I realized that having a law degree gave me a privilege, and I believe a responsibility to help and to give back. And I did so. I have been a volunteer judge for teen court, and teen court is it's a really interesting program where you have youthful offenders with petty crimes, let's say, a shoplifting or vandalism or something like that, where it's their first time. They haven't really been in trouble, and they're given kind of this opportunity to to not basically go to jail. And so they take this opportunity and they go to court and they have a trial, and the prosecutor is another teenager. The defense attorney is another teenager, and then you have a juror made up of their peers, all teenagers. And you hear the evidence, and they testify, and the jury decides on what the quote-unquote punishment is. A lot of times it's a public apology, it's writing a letter, it's community service, it's writing an essay. It's things that I think it serves a really nice purpose for those youth that have made a youthful mistake, and they get an opportunity to not have something like that on their record. So I was able to serve as a volunteer teen court judge. I'm also a former high school teacher. For those of you who don't know, I was able to, I had the privilege, truthfully, because I loved it so very much, to teach high school. I taught 11th graders and 12th graders. I taught them AP government, I taught them writing, I taught them U.S. history. But what I'm most proud of is that I was able to start a law studies program in that high school that gave them the first taste of the law, and gave them the first experience in what it is to be involved in the legal system. We put on mock trials. I took them to compete in the Miami-Dade County Public School System mock trial competitions. And this is the crazy part. So the crazy part is, I'll never forget, about, I want to say maybe 10 years ago or so, I'm in court, and I hear somebody call my name, and it was just, they used to call me Scanzi. They didn't know how to say Scanziani, or they didn't want to say it, or it was too much for them to say. So they're like, Scanzi. And I said, oh my goodness, I haven't heard that name in a while. And I turn around, and it's one of my former students, in a full suit and with a beard, and we're sitting there in motion calendar in court. And I looked at him and I said, what are you doing here? He says, I'm a lawyer. I said, no, you're not. You're not old enough to be a lawyer. And that was kind of a little bit of a aha moment for me. First of all, it made me realize, wow, time does go by pretty quickly, and I'm a lot older than I feel. But it was also so exciting because that was one of my students that first got a taste of the law in my classroom. And it was just, it was so gratifying. It really was gratifying. And today, I still have students who have become lawyers, and they've reached out to me. And one of my former students, I actually had the opportunity to co-counsel with in a trial, and she is an attorney in Miami Lakes, Annette Sanchez. And I taught her in high school, and I taught her in mock trial and law studies, and she is an amazing person and lawyer. And it was just really, really exciting to see that those little seeds that I had planted as a high school teacher, to see them in full bloom many years later. I won't say how many years later, but many years later. So I am, again, Denise Martinez-Scanziani. I am running for circuit court judge. It is a county-wide race. Mail-in ballots are arriving in your homes as we speak, if you've already requested it. Many voters are already voting and have voted. If you haven't done so yet and you still would like to request a mail-in ballot, you can do so. Your mail-in ballots can be requested until August 8th. And then when you receive it, you fill it out, you sign it, and you send it back, or you can deliver it to one of the to the Miami-Dade Department of Elections, or you can deliver it to one of the voting locations. I will tell you, if you are voting by mail-in ballot, make sure that you have updated your signature in order for your vote to count. If the department can't match your signature on your ballot after you vote, once you vote, you have to, when you seal your ballot, you have to, when you finish voting, you have to actually sign it. Once you sign it, they receive it, they match your signature to whatever they have on file. So if that is the way that you're choosing to vote, please make sure that you update your signature to make sure that your vote actually gets counted. If not, August 3rd, right around the corner, I want to say, what is this, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now? I can't even, I'm losing track, sorry. A few weeks from now, August 3rd, we will have early voting starting. It is around the county. There are 23 locations. You can find all the locations on miamidade.gov/elections. And you can go in the first week, it's an early morning shift. So it's from 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. And then on the weekends, it's from 8 to 4. And then the second week, it's the later shift. It's 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. And again, the weekends from 8 to 4 p.m. So there are plenty of opportunities to vote. If you don't want to vote by mail-in ballot, you can still vote by mail-in ballot. Or, of course, you can vote on Election Day, August 18th, which is where you would have to go to your precinct as designated in your voter registration card. I do urge you to vote early if you can, only because, as you see the weather today, Miami weather in the summer is not predictable, or maybe it is predictable that it's probably going to rain. And when we see it rain, we definitely see voters not coming to vote. And this is so important. This is so important to vote, especially in these local elections. There's 7 different judicial races on the ballot. There are the county mayor races on the ballot. There's just a whole bunch of things on the ballot that I think are very important for us locally. And it's usually, unfortunately, it's a few amount of voters who make the decision for all of us. So it's really important that you exercise your vote. And I am asking you from the bottom of my heart to vote for me, Denise Martinez-Scanziani, number 314. I am, like I said, with over 20 years of experience. I am ready, willing, and able to serve the residents of Miami-Dade County and give this county the best of me. I have been working to do this because I am very passionate about this work and about seeing that justice is done. I'm passionate about an impartial judiciary. I'm passionate about a judiciary that follows the law. And so I'm asking you to remember me, Denise Martinez-Scanziani, number 314 on the ballot. I'm going to wrap it up about 5 minutes early today, only because I have a long list of requests of different friends and supporters who have asked me for yard signs. So I do want to close this up with you and let you know, if you want a yard sign, please, you can message us. You can message us here on Facebook, or you can do connect@deniseforjudge2020.com. Connect at deniseforjudge2020.com. You can just send us, say, hey, I need one sign and this is the address. And before you know it, you will see the yard sign up in your yard. If there are any of you who have reached out to volunteer, we are organizing that as we speak. And if any of you want to volunteer, please let us know, shoot us an email or message us here. And then finally, one of the things that we are doing is we are using our digital campaign cards to spread the word. So if you want to go ahead and send us your phone number, we're happy to text you our digital campaign card so that you can tell a friend. Remember, if you vote, that's one vote. But if you tell your friends and your family to vote, and they tell their friends and their family to vote, then that's how we get this done. So again, this is Denise Martinez-Scanziani. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I will be back next Saturday at 2 p.m., sharing a little bit more about what's going on. Check your mailboxes. If you've requested your mail-in ballot, you should have something in there for you today. And again, I'll close out with just a whole bunch of gratitude and just very grateful for this journey. Thank you all so much for your support. Denise Martinez-Scanziani. I hope to be your next circuit court judge, number 314 on the ballot.